Good morning, David. First one here. Oblivion's the first one on Twitch. That's funny. Right as I said that. Good morning, good morning. Crap, never mind. Well, you were first on Twitch, so it still counts. I mean, it's still first. Good morning, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Good morning, sweetheart. Good morning, Amanian. Achievement unlocked. I got merged in Wireshark finally. Oh, that's fantastic, man. Did you open a PR? What did you do? Did you like fix a bug or contribute a feature? That's awesome, dude. Congratulations. That's a pretty big project too. Let's see. I hate a single coffee yogurt. No, I had a single coffee yogurt for the first time in ages, and now I'm powering through the day and night. I'm at 130 commits this week so far. Holy shit. Good morning, Voltaire. Sweetheart, fix an issue. Well, congratulations, man. That's awesome. I'm glad for you. That takes a lot of it takes a lot of agency, and it takes a lot of stick-to-itness to contribute to an open source project like that. So, congratulations, man. A lot of people go their whole life and never make a contribution. So, good on you, dude. All right. I think we're going to do something fun to start the day today. We're going to take a look at that space-time database thing that people were telling me about this week. I'd really like to take it for a spin. So we're going to try to do that part of that today, and then if we have enough time, we'll also try to work on the personal finance app too. We'll just see where the day takes us. It's Friday. We made it. So we're gonna do a little partying. SpacetimeDB, cool. Yeah. SpacetimeDB. It looks very cool. I like the fact that they have a native C# support for their functions. They also have some Rust support for their functions, which is pretty cool. I'm gonna try to figure out how to run this locally. We'll see. We'll see how this goes. Oh, yeah, and I should also update the status doing. We are going to explore using space-time. How do they refer to themselves? SpacetimeDB. Seems like a cool project. Plus, they've got native support. Or, I guess native's a bad word. Maybe I should say plus they've got built-in support for authoring functions in C# or in Rust. There we go. I like Rust. Nice. Yeah, Rust is good. Thanks, man. I have to say, I have done this. It's nice to hang out here. Sweet. Well, I appreciate you kicking it with us. That's very, very kind of you to stick around and hang out. I fixed a bug where the portable version of Wireshark was acting like the full installer version. Well, that sounds like it's probably going to make a lot of people's lives better. So that's awesome, dude. Good morning. Good morning to you as well, Inspire. Thanks for being a member. How was the day after stream yesterday? Yeah, the day was good. Yeah, pretty normal day. Most of my days look kind of the same. You know? Go upstairs, hug my wife, see my kiddos, get them off to school, sit down, work in front of the computer, lift some weights, go for a walk, drink coffee. You know? It's a pretty simple life. But it's my life, and I like it. Alright. Doing most of my projects in Rust as of recent, and it's incredibly refreshing performance. That's awesome. 130 commits, and most of them are in Rust. That's pretty impressive. we wrapped up the physical S project. We have not. I just decided, hey, it's Friday. We're getting to the end of February. Um, let's create a little time to go exploring a little bit this morning. But no, we're not to the end of it. I spent a little bit of time yesterday implementing some queue stuff that I can show you real quick. Here we go. Let me see. I can show you this. So we talked about yesterday about processing webhooks and how we probably shouldn't block on the HTTP requests while we're processing them. So I did spend a little bit of time yesterday. Oh, whoops. So GitHub needs to be reinstalled. But yeah, we still have much more to do on that project. Yeah, so this is what I did last night before I went to bed. Let's see. So if you remember from yesterday, we were in the process of setting up the webhook. And so now the webhook looks much more succinct. So basically all the endpoint does is it deserializes the webhook from Plaid using the going.plaid library. And then it just switches on the type of the webhook. And then I implemented some queues. I just implemented an iAsync queue class that we can implement in our infrastructure project. And I also implemented an interface for a processor. So very simple, right? Like it's all just generic interfaces. And then in the infrastructure project, I built a really simple queue around channels. Which I know people, if you write Go, you're probably familiar with channels, but C# also has a channel implementation. So we just have a little channel that we can read and write to. And then I also implemented a generic do something with it. And then we have a hosted service, which is basically like a background job that you can register as part of your C# applications that will just run a job basically infinitely. And so what the hosted service does is it just dequeues things, processes them, and then moves on with its life. So that's what I did last night on Physical OS. But this morning I thought, well, let's take a spin at SpacetimeDB because the last couple times I've looked at it, it's looked exciting. So that's what we're doing this morning. I really like Oh yeah, that's cool, man. I'm glad you found an area of code that interests you. Oh no, I've been working on mini repos this week. Rust, Python, HTML, CSS, JavaScript. Oh man, you've been polyglotting it up. That's cool. Sweetheart, it's a dream life. Yeah, it's my dream life. It is my dream life. Built out a multi-DNN CNN pipeline for computer vision and input handling. Got a GUI to collect, annotate, and train data on each stage as well. Finished my package manager. Oh, cool. You built a package manager? That's awesome. I need to cool down. Yeah. I mean, 130 commits is a lot of commits in a week. Good morning, Blackfire. Good to see you. Voltaire network issues? No, I haven't had any, I don't think. We've actually been doing pretty good on the network side of things lately. You cut out for a minute? Oh. Huh. I'm sorry about that, guys. I didn't even notice. I guess I need to do a better... I was too busy talking, running my mouth about my queue system. All right. Yeah, stream went offline, maybe ISP moment. Yeah, probably. That must have been it. Sorry about that, guys. I would have just been sitting in a dark room or in a lightly lit room talking to myself, not knowing that I wasn't talking to anybody. Let's see, rename Neolib. Voltaire gaslighting me. I swear I did. I had no idea. If it happens again, I'm sorry. That's so funny. All right, let's go read the docs, huh? We should. This is fine. It's all fine. It's fine. It's fine. That's like my default position at work whenever things aren't going super well, or whenever there's a problem that I said was going to be a problem, then it becomes a problem. That's my default emoji to use. This is fine. This is fine. I guess I should probably I'll keep Meld Studio open so I can see if there's any more network glitches. Okay, what do we need to do here? So it looks like we have some install commands. Tell the LLM to build it for you. This folder is initialized with the basic SpacetimeDB project. Use this as a starting point to build a full Discord clone with channels, threads, and real-time messaging with React.js. Okay, cool. Let's see. This is what they want me to run. Let's see. Docs. macOS, Windows, Docker. Okay, you can do Docker. That's cool. Let's see. Do I want to install it on the command line, or do I want to install it on my machine? I do not know. I guess we'll do that. And then let's take the C# version of this for a spin. Let's go here. Sure. Oh, that's weird. I can't type a T in there for some reason. Okay. All right. .NET workload install WASI experimental. Okay. I don't think I have that workload. Let's give it a go. Also, I am using .NET version 11. They cut a preview version of .NET 11 already. It's pretty sweet. Pretty sweet. These workloads can take a while to download, so we might have to kill some time here. What better time to sit and eat my orange? Good morning, Estefanos. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well, sir. We're taking a peek.
Voltaire's puppet is telling you to drink some coffee.
That, my friend, sounds like a fantastic decision. Hello, Duck Boy. Good to see you. Good morning, Rockin' Brain. How you doing, man? It's been a minute. Good to see you. I have no idea what's being downloaded and installed onto my machine right now, but it's a lot of stuff. It looks like. What are we cooking today? So we're gonna take a look at this database called SpacetimeDB. Apparently, it's kind of a similar thing to like Supabase or Firebase or Convex, but they have built-in support for using C# for writing your functions or stored procedures, however you want to call them. So we're going to take a spin at this. Apparently, this was originally developed by a company that builds some sort of real-time video game, but I think it might be interesting to try out. So that's what we're going to do today. Or at least we're going to do it for part of the day. It might not take up the whole morning, but we're going to at least spend the first hour or so on it. I think the tutorial has us build like a small little chat app. So I think that'll be fun. Yeah, the chat app tutorial. Dude, this workload is intense. This thing's been installing for like fucking 10 minutes. Good morning, D. Ilmanian, I've been learning about malware recently. I have one that almost done. It's not like dangerous or anything. It just deletes files in a directory. Pretty basic malware if you call it that, to be honest, but good stepping stone. I guess why are you learning how to author malware to begin with? Use your powers for good. You were supposed to be the chosen one, Anakin. It was said that you would destroy the Sith, not join them. Missing the Rust compiler yelling at you? No, we're going to use C#, but I did spend a little bit of time, was it yesterday or the day before, working Rust stuff? We got markdown links working in my Notepad application that we've been building, which is pretty cool. So now you can do, so if you have a link like this in your markdown, now if you click it, it opens the browser, which it didn't do that before because we hadn't implemented that functionality, but now it does. So we spent a little bit of time writing Rust yesterday. But no, I do not miss. I don't necessarily miss the compiler yelling at me. Oh my goodness. This is, yeah, if this is what the Linux experience is like all the time, holy shit, this is crazy. Oh, thanks, man. Yeah, I don't know how awesome it is, but I was excited about it. I'm very excited about my Notepad app. The other thing I added to the Notepad app that I really love is now you can initialize it with a file. So if I do something like this where I go OneDrive, desktop, YT, things to look at on stream, it'll actually populate it'll actually basically start the app or boot the app with the state of that file, which is something I use Notepad a lot like that. And so it was important that my version of Notepad support it. Yeah, I'm really happy that we spent some time building this app. I think I'll get a lot of use out of it over the coming years. I'd like to support multiple windows too. That's something that I'd like to add at some point, to have multiple instances of the windows. But we'll see. Nice. Yeah, thanks, Voltaire. Appreciate it. I once made the awful attempt to compile a browser. Big mistake. Google how long Chromium takes. Okay, let me look. You need some beefy machine to compile Chromium. Chromium compile time. 40 minutes on high-end 80 core machines. 6 to 12 plus hours on 4 core laptops. Holy moly. So how do okay, so like how do you even develop in that environment? Like I guess you don't always have to compile the entire project. I guess the project must be broken up to where you can work on parts of it without needing to. Holy crap, man. Can you imagine that? Well, I guess I'll go to bed now. Let me let me start the build. Is it open source? Yeah, it's open source. It's on my GitHub. Let me see if I can find it. You can't. I don't have it published to where you can install it without building it from source. But I will get. I'll get that done probably this weekend or maybe next week. I just need to sit down and wire up the bits to make it distributable.
Do not underestimate the power of the dark side.
Yeah, that is not the truth, man. The dark side. Let's see, D. There you go. That's the Notepad app. But there's this really cool tool in the Rust community called Cargo Dist, which basically allows you to kind of like, I mean, it basically takes care of setting up everything you need to publish your app. It's really, really cool. And so this is what I'm going to use. But once I get this wired up, then you'll be able to do like, you'll have like some shell scripts that you can use to install it. So once I get that done, I'll let you guys know. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool. Let's see. Any good recommendations for learning LLD and HLD system design? I don't know what either of those acronyms stand for. Sham. LLD and HLD. Also, D, thank you very much for the super chat. I'm not sure why your message didn't come through. Did you put a message in there? Oh, yeah, you did. Do not underestimate. Yeah, okay, never mind. In one ear and out the other. Sorry. That's my bad. High-level design and low-level design. Huh. I've never heard anybody refer to it like that. Structure, components, and relationships, implement. Yeah, I don't really have any good advice on that. Yeah, I wish I had something more smarter or more intelligent to say, but I do not. Is the MERN stack outdated? No, I don't think it is. Mongo is very much still a viable product and database. I mean, it's used all over the place. Huge public company. The only one that's in that stack that you might say is outdated is Express. I think React is still perfectly usable, perfectly fine. I think Node is. I still use Node pretty much exclusively. I don't really go in for Dino or Bun. I have, I think, Dino installed, and I've used both Dino and Bun before, but I don't see a compelling reason why, if you're already using Node a lot for your stuff, a lot of things, you need to switch off of it. The one thing I would probably switch out Express. I think if it was me today and I was building that type of a stack or using that type of a stack, I would use Hano. Hano.dev, which is kind of its own framework in a lot of ways. But that's what I would use for like the server side part of that stack. If you want something that's like Express, but kind of more modernized to deal with async and await in a more friendly way, you could look at Koa. Koa is essentially, I think it's made by the same people who made Express, but it's like, okay, now that we kind of did Express and we have our shit sorted out now, how would we do it? So you might look at that. But that's the only piece of that stack that I would probably think about switching out in 2026. D, always meant to ask, would you mind PRs? If not, for your finance app, because obviously then the other apps. Oh yeah, I never mind PRs. It'll just depend on if it's something that I want to include in the app. Obviously, you're also welcome to fork anything I built and modify it and make changes to it. HLD depends on LLD and vice versa. It's really hard to live in one mental space only, is my take. Very simple. HLD makes LLD so much easier. Yeah, I've literally never heard those acronyms, but very interesting. Hano is fun with the spot. Yeah, Hano I think is great. I personally think if I was building some sort of backend with some sort of web-based backend, it would be with Hano. I guess I should have set up this SpacetimeDB thing yesterday, but I think it finally finished. Yep, it finished. So what do we do now? Spacetime init -- C# quick start chat. Let's do it. You are not logged in to SpacetimeDB. Would you like to log in? Required for main cloud deployment. No, I do not want to log in. Let's see, project path. Let's call this Let's call it SpacetimeDB chat. Database name. SpacetimeDB. Okay, and then let's, I guess, cd up SpacetimeDB chat, like that. Okay, let's look at the. Oh, they have Agents MD and Claude MD. Well, we won't need that guy. Won't need that guy. Okay, so we have Spacetime Local. That declares our database. I don't know what this is. This must be for something you're doing in cloud. I don't need WinSurface rules. Don't need cursor. Don't need that. These people are very AI first. And then we have our lib. Okay. So we're using attributes, it looks like, to declare tables. I think reducers are like your functions. Okay. Do I need to build the project or something? .NET build. Specify a project or a solution file. Is there not a solution file in here? .NET build. Oh, it nested it. Interesting. I guess I'm gonna make a solution. Say .NET new. Required command .NET. There we go. .NET build. I wonder if I can bump that version. Do you think I can bump this up? Let's do 10. See if that'll work. Dr. Lobenschatz, what are we doing? We are looking at SpacetimeDB. It's a kind of like a Supabase or like a convex type of database. So we're taking it for a spin. Let's see if they have an update for any of their packages. Cool. All right. Let's see. We'll ask you for a project path in which to put your project. That's fine. Declare your imports. To the top of the spacetime lib.cs, add some imports we'll be using. Those are already there, though. I think those are already there. Good morning, Walsey. Teo Doms, what are you trying? I'm trying SpacetimeDB. SpacetimeDB. I think the page you were looking at was for Claude AI. Oh, really? Yeah, they had a lot of AI files. They had an AgentsMD, a ClaudeMD, a Windsurf directory. They had a GitHub directory, a Cursor directory. They are AI native. For my package manager's front end, I chose SSR for once, and I don't dislike it as much as I thought I would, using the Askama templating crate for it. Very cool. Teo, morning, by the way. I mean, with the CS prods and solution files. Oh, I was just trying to get things wired up because this project came bootstrapped with the Spacetime CLI, so I was just kind of setting things up. All right, I'm gonna put the documentation off to the side here. Let's see. So it wants us to go into the lib folder, and it wants us to define a static partial class, which this is. Yeah, we can do that. That's fine. Let me get this fixed. Yo, Spacetime trend. Race. Is Spacetime trendy right now? Somebody in my chat had recommended, or two people in my chat had recommended it this week. And the fact that it has C# support really caught my eye. So I was like, okay, let's give it a go, man. Let's try it out. Let's take it for a spin. Why not? Right? Software engineering is already dead, guys. We have nothing to lose. We have nothing to lose and everything to gain.
Did we just become best friends?
Simple Strikes, thanks for subbing. Appreciate that. It's very kind of you. Okay, let's do what it asks. Namespace. This is going to be SpacetimeDB. Oh, that's probably actually their namespace, isn't it? Spacetime. What did I call the project? SpacetimeDB chat. And that wants me to use a discard, but I don't want to use a discard, so we're going to fix this. So we're going to say, what was that warning? It was like ID 0058. Crap. I know it's unrelated, but do you think USA will attack Iran soon? I honestly don't know. I've been paying attention to it pretty closely. I honestly am kind of on the fence. Yeah, I honestly don't know. I can't suss it out. I think the one thing that has me leaning towards probably is the fact that we spent a crap ton of money and resources to get the military or the armed forces that are there currently. We spent a lot of money to do that. So I gotta imagine that the fact that we did such a large buildup and made such an investment to then just walk away without getting what we want is probably low, or the likelihood of that is probably low. So if we get what we want from these negotiations that are supposed to happen, like they may already be happening at this point, or maybe they're supposed to happen at the beginning of next week. If we get what we want from those negotiations, or if the US gets what they want, I would imagine then no, we probably won't. But if they don't capitulate in those negotiations, I would imagine then something does happen. Yeah. Which is unfortunate. Would it be the decision I would make? But unfortunately, I don't run the United States or make foreign policy. All right. Sorry, the squiggly lines really bother me, so I always have to address them. I wonder if it has to be module. Can it be something else? Probably not. It probably has to be module. Okay. So we have, let's just delete all this and let's follow their code. So they want us to define a public partial, shut up, Copilot. They want us to define a public partial class called user. And they want us to define some fields. The first one has a primary key attribute. Then they want a public identity, which comes from their namespace as well. Then we want public string, public bool, yeah, we're gonna violate all these rules, so this is CA17. Remember these numbers: 1716 and 1051. 1716 and 1051. 1716 and 1051, right? 1051. I need to add a keybind for quickly restarting OmniSharp, because that's something I usually do quite often. This also needs a attribute called table accessor equals user. So that must be the name of our table, I'm guessing. Public equals true. I don't know what that's for. They then want another table called message. And that's going to be kind of the similar idea here. Message, primary key, they want this to be called sender. They want a public timestamp that is sent. That's from their library. And then they want string text, because we're building a chat app, by the way, if you guys didn't know, we're building a chat app. Okay. Very nice, very nice. Okay, now we're going to say we'll allow users to set a display name. Since raw identities aren't user-friendly, define a reducer that validates input, looks up the caller's user row by primary key, and updates it. So I guess let's do reducer public. I wonder if you can actually split this up across multiple files. I'm guessing that's what why they're using partial everywhere. Because I'm guessing if you wanted to, you could separate these definitions into separate files. So we'll do set name. This takes a reducer context. Then this is the argument. And then we're going to have another reducer. Or no, this is a private method. So we'll say private static string validate name. And if string dot is null or empty, let's do old null white space. Throw new argument. Actually, this can actually be much simpler. Argument dot. We don't even need this function. Don't even need it. Don't even need it. We can do this because it's 2026. Okay. Then we'll say if context.db, so this is how you access the database or the query, I guess, engine. db user dot identity dot find context dot sender is user. Interesting. So the sender is actually an identity type, but I guess we can cast it to... sorry, my mic is peaking. Let me turn it down a little bit. I guess we can pattern match it to user. That's kind of nice. I like that. Okay. So if we do have a user, then we'll say user.name equals name. And context.db user.identity.update user. Kind of has a little bit of an entity framework vibe to it right there. Okay. And now we need to define a function for sending messages. Let's see, Indian PM visited Israel, and when he departed, the final hug between him and BB looked something out of a movie. It's the end game now type thing. Oh, interesting. What? This was like a hug heard around the world? Is this what you're talking about? Hug diplomacy. Hug diplomacy. Nice. A good one. Whoever wrote that line. Huh. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's a wild time to be alive right now. Lots of shit happening in the world. Most of it I do not understand, to be honest with you. Okay, now we're gonna add another reducer. We'll add it down here. Mohammed, hey man, how's it going? It's going good. Kurt, Steven, are you into politics? I'm only into politics in the sense that like it's kind of like a form of entertainment. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but like I don't get too caught up in it where it like it doesn't occupy a lot of my emotional or mental energy, but I do like pay attention, you know. I like to listen to the drama of it all, but less to participate and more just for general awareness. This land is mine song? I don't know what you're talking about, NG Tante. Hey man, how's it going? It's going good, Mohammed. Good to see you. How are you doing? We're exploring SpacetimeDB for the first time right now. So I have some logging. That's nice. ctx.db.message.insert. Oh, misspelled this. What's happening, Captain? Good morning, Minister of Defense. Good to see you again. Appreciate you. This morning, what we're doing this morning is we're taking a spin through SpacetimeDB, which is a newer database product that kind of is in the same vein of some of those other managed backend as a service type offerings like Supabase or Convex or that type of thing. So we're taking a look at that this morning. Oblivion, it's dark humor drama because it has very tangible influence over the world. It is dark humor drama, unfortunately. Me and my wife just sometimes, we'll be sitting in the living room and we'll have the news on or something in the background, or we'll be scrolling on our phones and something will pop up, and we just kind of look at each other, like because our kids will be in the room, so we don't want to freak our kids out, but we'll just kind of look at each other and just, I mean, there's not much else you can do but just like shake your head and just say a prayer. I mean, there's just some crazy shit happening in the world these days. Keeping up with current events is important. It is. I kind of feel I feel kind of a duty to do that. Just the fact that my wife and my kids are dependent on me. I can't be. Have you ever heard that saying that if you're not at the table, you're on the menu, right? So I kind of feel like I have some responsibility to make sure I stay current on like what's going on in the world from a financial perspective, from a political perspective, from a career perspective, right? Because I do have people that are sort of counting on me to make sure that we do okay, I don't like my government because it was corrupt. I think it is the only reason my country is hard to get ahead, and most politicians here are corrupt, like they don't care about the people. We have protests, but they still don't care, and the main thing that is very unfortunate is that the people is corrupt too, just like the politicians. I don't know how my country is ever going to get ahead with this problem. The education is shit. The average IQ here is below 90, or at least that seems like it. I'm sorry, man, that you feel that way. I'm sorry that's frustrating. Obviously, I don't live where you are, so I can't really speak to the realities there, but I just wish you the best, man. I hope you can try to make the most of it. Kurtz, what the F is Trump and Israel doing? Yeah, the Israel situation is difficult. That's a tough one. The Middle East in general is I'm not. No one's been able to solve that problem. It's been going on forever, literally forever. Like what happened at the White House with Bondi? That was a kindergartner's fight. Yeah, I don't. Oh my goodness. Yeah, the Pam Bondi situation is yeah, it's going quite yeah, I don't know. Kurtz, don't talk about it though, you'll get blacklisted. Yeah, I don't want to get blacklisted. I mean, obviously if I offend people, I apologize. That's not my intent. I mean, it's all beyond me. I mean, I'm just a 32-year-old guy in Kansas, right? Like, so I know very little about very few things. All right, so we're going to put this message in our database. So interesting. I'm looking at some of this code, and it looks like this context has some general fields to it. Let's see, sender. This should be text. No, this should be timestamp, sorry. And this should be text. Oh, yep. Oh no, this should be, sorry, this should be sent. Have you read the Epstein files? I have not. Although I did see somebody built like a Gmail clone so people could view them, which is pretty cool. It's called like Jmail, and they racked up a huge Vercel bill, which is absolutely hilarious. But no, I haven't. I haven't read through any of it. I've just seen what's been reported in the news. It's a wild place. It's disturbing. Don't go through it if you're sensitive. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. Yeah, I don't need any of that in my mental space, you know. I keep yeah, I don't need any of that. Spent 3 hours in my NeoVim configuration yesterday. I think I have at least 20 more to go. Awesome. I'm glad you are embarking on this journey, and I hope you enjoy every minute of it. NG Tantai, this land is mine. Check out this song. Okay, I'll add it to the list. Opening Jmail on stream takes huge cojones. Does it really? Is there like crazy shit in there? Stupid innocent me. I'm so naive. Minister, debating on if I want to work at WeWork today. Oh, I didn't even know WeWork was still had offices. Okay. Do it, man. Do it. It's always nice to get a change of pace. I've turned our house into like a co-working space. I have like 3 different like stations that I've set up. I have one that's here in my office, then I have one out in the main basement area, and then I have a big cozy chair upstairs that I've kind of turned into a little working space. Sometimes it's nice to kind of switch up your view while you're sitting at the computer. So I say go for it, man. Go get you a WeWork. Get a nice latte. Treat yourself, man. Treat yourself. Have they released the rest of the 3 million documents? I have no idea. The only positive so far is Lua is a simple lang. Yeah, I really did enjoy interacting with Lua. I don't think I really learned Lua or that I know Lua, but the interaction that I've had with Lua through NeoVim configurations, yeah, it's grown on me. There's CSAM and murders on there, so yeah, it's not nice. Okay, well, that's good. I probably will never open it again on stream then. Or torture at least. I've not seen uplifting firsthand. Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna open it on stream again. Deeksith, how's life, mate? It's good. Yeah, man, I've got some oranges here that I'm eating. I've got a nice, strong cup of coffee. I feel reasonably healthy. My wife and my kids, I believe, are healthy. We'll see. They were healthy yesterday when they went to bed, so hopefully they'll wake up this morning feeling good. Yeah, life is good, man. No, I've got lots of things to be grateful for. What about you, Deeksith? How's life for you? Minister of Defense. I don't have a big house. I'm poor. LOL. Well, we only just recently moved to this place, and we're renting this house. We don't own it. The main reason we rented this house was because it has a basement. That was the main reason. We live in I don't know if you guys are familiar with Tornado Alley, but we live in Tornado Alley. So my wife was very eager to get out of apartments and into a home that has a basement. Walsey, I love that American houses so often have basements. Well, I mean, it's probably not necessary in a lot of places, but here in Tornado Alley, kind of in the Midwest. So basically, there's a big highway that runs along kind of the Midwest, Midwest through like Oklahoma, Missouri, a little bit Arkansas, Kansas, uh, called, and it's an interstate, so it actually goes through a bunch of states, but it's right along I-44. There's kind of this like J hook area where like tornadoes just tear up this area. So you have a really high probability that at some point in your life you're going to be affected by them. So having a basement in those cases is very, very helpful. Lua is super simple. Oh, nice. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah, it seems super simple. I've just never actually built anything substantial in it. Kurt's not mortgaged. No, I do not have a mortgage. I am 100% debt free for the first time in my life. We paid off the last little bit of debt we had, or I guess the first time since I was 18, probably, I'm debt free. We paid off like $23,000 last year in student loans. That was the last piece of debt that we had. Then we got that all paid off. I think at some point we'll buy a house, but where we live, houses are just crazy expensive. Like crazy expensive. It's unbelievable. And what you get for the price isn't all that impressive. Crazy. How often do you have to deal with tornadoes? Quite a bit. I mean, we probably have a tornado warning or tornado watch in the springtime, from spring to fall or spring through summer. We might have 10 of them, So it happens pretty frequently. Basically, anytime there's a storm, there's usually, it comes with some level of tornado risk. What are we working on today? We are working on exploring SpacetimeDB. It's kind of like a Supabase convex type of product, apparently. But the one thing that really caught my eye with it is you can write your functions, or they call them reducers. You can write those in C#, or you can write them in Rust, which is pretty cool, I think. Basement is good to hold people captive. Ilmani, and we are on completely different wavelengths. Balatro is written in less. What is Balatro? Never heard of that. Balatro? Okay. Cool. Or written in Lua, sorry. Did I say Rust? I meant written in Lua. That's cool. Yeah, I've never played that. Student debts, Americans. Yeah, it's rough, man. It's rough. It's rough to get through school here without taking out some loans. I mean, some folks are lucky they have parents who can pay for that shit, but I was not so fortunate. Wear a hat, wear a white hat, go to bank, you'll probably get a good deal. I don't get the white hat part. One time I dealt with a tornado while on the plane. It decided to fly around the tornado, non-stop turbulence for 3 hours. That sounds like you were in a movie. That's what that sounds like. I was in a plane one time that flew around a tornado. That sounds like something out of a movie, dude. That's crazy. Well, I'm really glad you made it through that experience. That's crazy. Super popular indie card game? Okay, yeah, I've never heard of it. Ilmanian, what the fuck? Yeah, exactly. I don't know. He's on a different wavelength. Never mind. Fully indie was a solo dev. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that's very cool. Ilmanian, I like the way you think. No. People, do not use your basements for kidnapping folk. Don't do that. This is. Do I really? Do I have to be your parent? I don't know what it's called, but oh, Kurtz, come on, man. Nah, not cool. Every other indie game at TGA was by an established studio. Okay, I'll use the garden shed then. Guys, do not hold people against their will in any space, okay? Oh my goodness. All right, so okay, so now we're gonna add another reducer. This one's called client connected. Public static void. Did I make it through the tornado, or did they just upload my consciousness that allowed me to chat with you? I guess we'll never know. It's all a simulation anyways, right? I hope YT won't flag you for saying these things. Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll flag you for saying such things. I don't think we need to go there with the negative stereotyping. We can have fun without doing that. This stream is so landing on a watch list for the topics we've. Well, I think the pure fact that somebody typed Jmail in the chat probably did get it flagged. So far, I think I am liking the authoring experience of the functions so far. I'm interested to see how they support background work, like if they let you schedule jobs and stuff. That'll be something we need to look at. But so far, I like the authoring experience. I think it's interesting that all of this is synchronous. They don't have any asynchronous. It looks like code, which is kind of weird in 2026, especially when you're making calls to a database. But so far, I'm enjoying it. We might have to find an excuse to build something like substantial. We got to figure out the self-hosting support though. I don't know if they allow you to self-host this. So this is basically managing user state. So basically on connection, we're gonna insert a user. If they already exist, then we'll just update their presence. And then on client disconnected. Let's do disconnect, and we'll set this to false. We update them again. Then we can say log.warn no user found or disconnected. What theme do you use? So I use GitHub Dark Dimmed. Oops. Telescope themes. Yeah. GitHub Dark. This one right here. This guy. I also used. This won't surprise anybody. I also used Capuchin for a little bit. I guess I need to reinstall those themes. But yeah, I used this one for a little bit too. I think a lot of people use that one. It's pretty, but I use GitHub dark dimmed almost everywhere, like Visual Studio, Rider, Visual Studio Code. It's kind of my go-to. It feels like home. It feels like a safe space. Hello, Caleb. Good to see you. As long as everyone can be open-minded and unpersuasive, yeah. Let's see. Escape Peter Pan. Someone claimed that SpacetimeDB used misleading benchmarks. Oh, really? Well, we did. We were kind of laughing at their benchmarks the other day because right on their front page, they kind of call out some of the big players. If you scroll down here, look at this chart. They put convex on here, and then they put a magnifying glass on it. This one's kind of surprising to me because I always heard that Planet Scale is like crazy fast and crazy performant and reliable. So I'm surprised Planet Scale's down here. But I think all benchmarks are a little misleading to some extent. I mean, I think if a company was trying to be very genuine, what they would do is they would publish a white paper of their benchmark. Basically, publish an academic an academic-like paper that clearly, has an abstract, has an introduction, has a methods, has your results. That way, if somebody did want to challenge your benchmarks, they could actually take your paper and then try to reproduce it, right? Because that's the underpinning. That's one of the underpinnings of scientific research is reproducibility. So if you want to claim certain benchmarks, that's fine. You need to then publish it though, so that others can try to go and reproduce those benchmarks. You shouldn't just be able to probably shit on other people and then walk away. So, but I hadn't heard that. Ilmani, if I'm racist to everybody, does that mean I'm treating everyone equal? I guess I never thought about that, but I guess, yeah, sort of. I guess if you're looking at it from a first principles thing, I guess that makes logical sense. Ilmani, is there a moderator here? I am the moderator. I'm writing a 2048 neuron neuromorphic simulator in Zig. I have no idea. What is a neuron neuromorphic simulator? I'm going to try to build a robot simulator that simulates consciousness based on something called the Lohine
Did we just
cube.
become best friends?
Kevin, thanks for the sub, man. Appreciate that. It's been fun to build. Interesting. I have no idea what you're building. Mohammed, here's a crazy idea. Let's turn this into a SaaS. I have no interest in running a SaaS. Unless it's like a very small SaaS, like a tiny little one-man SaaS. That I will do, but I don't want to run I don't want to run anything that's substantial. Good morning, David. Good to see you. The chart doesn't seem convincing. I don't know. I think the chart's funny. I mean, I would kind of be interested if I saw this chart. David Bailey, speed and SQL, LOL. What do you mean? You don't think SQL's fast? What's faster than SQL? The whole world runs on SQL databases. All benchmarks are biased regardless. Best outcome would be to run other people's benchmarks to prove yourself. Yeah, exactly. 100%. You should be able to reproduce the benchmarks. David Bailey, doesn't make you a racist, makes you an asshole. That's got to be one of the better comments I've read in a while. Let's see. They share their benchmark code actually, and someone challenged that. Oh, very cool. Yeah. Very cool. So someone did challenge it? Is that what you're saying? Is there like a video or something that we can watch? Escape Peter Pan? Because I'd watch that video. Yeah. Oblivion's on the same page. Chat wants to get Steven canceled. Yes, please don't get me canceled. Please. Mohammed, where do you plan to host? Hetzner will be good and cheap. Well, what I'm building right now, I have no intention of like doing anything with it. We're just having fun checking out a new piece of technology. We're going through their tutorial and just exploring it. So that's hosting is not even on the table at the moment. We're just having a good time. This is a special kind of reducer. reducer find dot client disconnected. I like their use of the attributes too. That's nice. Okay, so these are all of our functions, I think. Now we can start the server. Okay, if you haven't already, start the SpacetimeDB host, run this in a separate terminal, and leave it running. Okay. Go into SpacetimeDB chat. We will do spacetime start. Oh wow, that was fast. Did you guys see how fast that was? That was crazy. The startup time on that was nuts. Hold on, let's do this again. Watch how fast this starts. I mean, that's basically instant. I don't know what that means, but that's basically fucking instant. That was crazy. Are we listening on port 3000? I think it must be built in Rust. Oh yeah, look. Tokyo. Dang, that was so fast. How did they achieve this speed? I have no Rust, I guess. I have no idea, but that was fast, man. I haven't seen something start up that quick in probably ever on my terminal, which is not always an indictment of the technology. It could be an indictment of my machine, but like that was crazy fast. I don't know. Wouldn't say you can do any sensor stuff in SQL. Oh, okay, that's fair. I guess I wasn't even thinking about that, David Bailey. But isn't time series data? Don't you you have to build special databases for that, like dedicated databases for that type of data? How did they achieve this speed? I think it was Rust. Slower than my dad left me. Nice. Oblivion. It always makes me laugh to become joyous over speed when we need to remember that any computer can execute billions of ops per second, yet we're using dozens of watts to just start most services. Well, isn't that what Casey Moratori's point is all the time? That his point is always that in 2026 it's really sad how bad software has gotten in terms of performance. But no one thinks about it anymore, you know? No one just gives much thought to it. Okay, so now I need to run spacetime publish --server local --module path SpacetimeDB. I called mine SpacetimeDB chat. You can choose any unique database name in place of quick start chat.
Illmanian is telling you to drink some coffee.
Must be alphanumeric with internal hyphens. Thank you for the reminder. Appreciate that. You are not logged in. Would you like to log in with spacetimedb.com? No, I do not. We have logged in directly to your target server. This login will not work for any other servers. Saving config. Okay. The command could not be loaded, possibly because you intended to execute a .NET application. The application workload does not exist or is not a managed DLL or exe. Let's see, you intended to execute a .NET SDK command, requested SDK version 8, installed SDKs. Okay, well we can fix that because I don't want to use 8, I want to use 10. Let's use this one. We can do latest feature. Let's do this again. Try again. Kurtz, did you look into that Kubernetes course that you shared from Creek Camp? So I did look into it, and I am going to do it. I am going to use that course. Because Kubernetes is one of those things that's always felt very intimidating to me. And I know that the reason why it feels intimidating to me is...
Did we just become best friends?
Haru, thanks for the sub. The reason why it feels intimidating to me is because I haven't sat down and really applied myself. And so that, I think, will be a really great resource to do that. I trust the folks over at FreeCodeCamp. .NET SDK 8 is required, but found version. So I have to... Are you saying I have to use... Okay, I don't like that. Well, I wonder why is it required though? Not crazy about that. Wasm. Is it because of this maybe? Let's see. Wasm.net 10. So a little bit of research. SpacetimeDB.net 10. I'm looking at their documentation trying to see if it's possible to do this without that specific version. SpacetimeDB use .NET 10. Huh. Okay. I guess it does. So we have to install .NET 8, I guess, which I don't currently have on this machine. So we need to switch this back to 8. And we need to reset the global. And then we need to install that. So let's do let's see, winget search.net. I've always wanted to apply K8, but even after trying so many times, I've never found the right application. Docker Compose has been my best companion, always met the requirements. Yeah, I love Docker Compose. I guess the reason why I want to explore Kubernetes is just because it's always felt intimidating, I guess, is the reason, you know? Like, when people talk about it, I'm like, oh, I don't know shit about that. And I just like to move to a place where I feel more comfortable with it. Or I guess comfortable enough with it where I feel like I could hold a conversation with somebody about it. You know what I mean? I don't know how often I would actually ever have need to use it. All right. We'll let this install. You can do Control L instead of writing clear. Okay, I'll try that. Control L. I might not remember that, but I'll do my best. Habits are hard to change. Mohammed, Windows is breaking. It's the year of Linux desktop. I've heard a lot of people say that. So far, Windows continues to serve me well, but if it ever stops, I will definitely consider moving. Eight point 0.418. Okay. Wonderful. So now let's rerun that command. Huh. We're downloading a bunch of stuff. I thought we already did this. It looks like it's installing workloads. I guess workloads must not actually install anything. If it ever let's see, if it ever stopped. Famous last words, make sure your stuff is backed up. There have been more than one cases this year where a quick patch backfired and new bootloaders or recommended deleting personal files. Yeesh, that's painful. I do luckily have I use a service called Backblaze. Have you guys ever heard of them? This is the service I use to back stuff up. It's a pretty handy service. Very easy to use. Very low effort to set up. You know what? I bet these workloads have to be installed per version of .NET. And I think earlier we installed the versions for 11, and now we have to install the versions for 8. So we must wait. We must sit and wait. It's free? What's free? Kurt, what are you asking about? This probably be a good time to go get more coffee. The backup app? No, it's not free. Backblaze is not free. I think it's $8 a machine for the personal plan. Or maybe $9 a machine. I can't remember. I guess I don't have to remember. I can just look it up. I've used them for a real long time, like 10 years or more. Since before my kid was born, yeah, more than 10 years. Let's see, pricing. Do they have a pricing page? Yeah, pricing. So it looks like it's $99 per year or $9 a month. Kurt's found cracked version. What does that mean? Found a cracked version? I feel like if I had gone with the Rust version of these reducers, I probably wouldn't have had to install this crap. So, how's it going? You guys doing well? Uh-oh. Workload garbage collection failed with error. Could not find workload. Well, that's not good. Wonder if that's going to cause some issues. Alright, now it's hung. It's stuck on successfully installed workloads WASI experimental. Do we try to let it finish or do we kill it? There we go. Looks like it created a new database. Okay, cool. We did it. We created a database. Uploading to local. Okay, so what happens if I go here? Localhost 3000. Localhost. Looks like it doesn't have a UI. That's fine. Alright, now what do we do? So we published it. Use the CLI to call reducers. Okay, check that it ran by viewing the logs. You can also support a subset of SQL so you can query your data. Okay, so let's do a send message. See how this works. The command is unstable and subject to breaking changes. Error. No such reducer or procedure. Quick start chat for oh. Sorry. This should be no such reducer or procedure send message for a database resolving to identity. A reducer with a similar name exists. Their documentation must be out of date.
Did we just become best friends?
Boboman? Boboman, thank you very much for the sub. Appreciate it. Okay, it looks like that executed. Now it says we can I guess we can look at the logs. So they must not have a GUI. They must not have a GUI, so you have to do all this from the command line. Which is, I mean, that's not an issue, but a GUI would be nice. Yep, that worked. Okay. And then let's now check for that message. Copy. There it is. All right, interesting. Okay, you've just set up your first SpacetimeDB module. You can find the full code for this module. Wonderful. Create the client. Next, you'll learn how to create a SpacetimeDB client application. Choose your preferred client language. Well, let's just stick with C#. Enter the quick start chat you created in the Rust module, quick start or C# module. Okay, .NET new console. Add the NuGet package for the C# SpacetimeDB SDK. Take a look inside module bindings. The CLI should have generated 3 folders, 9 files. Add imports to program CS. So I guess this is we're in the root of our project, right? So let's do I'm going to put the documentation off to the side again so I can see. And I'm going to put that there. Put that over here. Put a cha. Okay. So .NET new console. And we'll just out. Let's see. That's SpacetimeDB. So let's do .NET new console out SpacetimeDB dot client. And then let's do .NET SLN add the client project. And let's also go back here. And let's rename this to be I feel like it looks weird to have a CS project that's lowercase. And then it also said we need to generate the bindings. So it has a command for this. Oh, we need to add the SDK. Sorry, hold on. We need to add the SDK. We also need to change the target type to 8. See, for developers creating both a C# server and a C# client, you will need to update the CS proj file at the root of your server project to ignore the server code in the SpacetimeDB directory by adding the following. So we're going to do .NET add spacetime package SpacetimeDB.client SDK. Looks good. And then let's do, we have to make a change to our, so we have 10, enable. It wants us to add this attribute, emit compiler generated files, true. And then it also says, I don't know if we need to add that yet, so I'm not going to add it right now. We're going to clear out the program CS. And then now it wants us to generate the binding. So we say spacetime generate --lang C# out dir. So I'm thinking about, like, if you were actually going to build with this, right? This would be something that you would have to probably figure out how you would automate this as part of probably your build. I don't know if you'd have some sort of special step in your CS proj where, like, every time you build that project, you run this command or something. You would think that they would already have that integrated, but it doesn't look like it. Okay, so it generated some files for us. The confusing part to me though is that how are these connected to our client? I think these need to be generated in here. Right? Am I wrong? I think that needs to be generated one level underneath it.
Did we just become best friends?
Thank you for the sub. I can't pronounce your username, I can't read it. But thank you very much for the follow or the sub. Yeah, I don't think this is gonna work, but watch. Let's try it. SpacetimeDB using SpacetimeDB.types using system.collections.current identity local identity equals null. And then we're going to have var input q equals new concurrent dictionary. No, concurrent q. And we're going to type this like a tuple, apparently. This is all code from their docs, by the way. If you're like, where are you getting this code? It's just from their docs. So we have command, we have args, okay? And then we'll work outside in. So we're going to define a function called main. And inside this function, we're going to do some stuff. Looks like the first thing we do is we have to initialize some auth things. I don't understand. Is this going to build? Type or namespace name does not exist in the namespace SpacetimeDB. That's what they show in their code. Huh. Yeah, I think it's because this needs to be generated within my client directory. I could be wrong, but I think that's what's happening here. So let's go back to the terminal. Let's do space-time, and instead of just doing output module, let's do SpacetimeDB. What did I call it? SpacetimeDB.client. Okay. Looks like it generated the types again. Now let's go back and try to build here. .NET build. Warning. The variable local is assigned as values never read. The local main function declared but never used. Okay, cool. All right, so let that be a lesson to you. You need to generate it in the client, within the client project itself. Now we're gonna start Kurtz. How many monitors do you have? So I kind of switched my setup. Most of the time that I've been streaming, I've had two 27-inch monitors, but I basically shifted the two 27 inches off to the side here. So now it's a 27-inch monitor here, a 27-inch monitor directly ahead, and then I have an ultra wide set right here underneath the camera. That's a little lower, so I can put the camera over the top of it, and that's where I keep like my stream software up and any extra windows and documentation or whatnot. So I kind of have like it's three, but it's almost like having four because I have the ultra wide. It's been working pretty nice. I've been running this setup for like 2 weeks now, and I've been pretty happy with it. I mean, you can't go wrong with more monitors, man. It's baller. Okay, what is this function? Let's see. Connect to DB. Registers to run in response to database events. Declare a thread safe cancel token to cancel the process loop. Oh, this is all stuff we're going to implement. Okay. This code looks very weird to me, I have to admit. Register callbacks. It's not like any C# code I've written recently. Okay. Var thread equals new thread. We're just gonna new up a thread, huh? Okay. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Thread.start. I don't think I've ever newed up a thread in .NET. Input loop. Cancellation, or sorry, cts.cancel. Thread.join. Okay. Let's see. Now we need font string host. This is where the server is running. Remember that really, really fast Rust server we started? Font string db name. This is actually going to be SpacetimeDB chat. And this will be a DB connection. Connect to DB. I don't know why they did this. Why not just do this? Why not just, maybe they were trying to show the types, maybe, or something. I'm not really sure. Do DB return DB connection builder with URI with database name with token auth token dot token. I don't know why I'm not getting IntelliSense for any of their methods here. Maybe it's a Neobin thing. This is a lot of boilerplate to get this spun up. So now my feeling towards this process is not so great. I'm just going to copy this function. I don't feel like typing that one. Okay. Then we're going to register some callbacks. Interesting. Register callbacks. So these look like interesting. So this is all like programmatically generated stuff, I'm guessing. User underscore on insert. Let's see, notify about new users. Yep. Let's see, user on insert. Oh no, this is all user defined stuff. We have to define all this. Huh. Okay. User on updated. Print messages. Interesting. So this is very like event, like they're using delegates and events. See, warn if our message was rejected. Man, I don't think I've ever written C# code like this before. Subscribe to queries. Okay, where's our onConnected callback? OnConnected. Subscription builder on applied, on subscription applied. Now we need a process thread. Okay, let's put that right below here. Loop until canceled. Handle user input. And then we'll also put the input loop right there. Okay, so just to walk through some of this code, I pasted in here. So basically what we're doing is we are registering a bunch of callbacks. We are creating a thread and giving it a cancellation token so we can stop it. We're starting that thread. Then we're starting the input loop. And the input loop is what's running in the foreground. And the input loop is basically just a while loop that's reading console input. And then the background, or that other thread that we started, is what's handling the commands. And so we call user reducers.sendMessage, reducers.setName. And then whenever those reducers are called, we're executing callbacks basically to those events. So if we go back down to where we registered the callbacks, you can see whenever we're adding a user, we do some stuff. Or whenever we're setting a name, we do some stuff. On SendMessage, we do some stuff. And so on reducer on send message, where's our, yeah, message on insert. So when we insert a message, we print it to the console. Okay. Interesting. Okay, let's see if this works. So we should be able to start this up now. To program.cs add main. Okay, so we got to call it. So we'll just do top here. We'll just call main. This C# code is almost written like a Python, like a single Python main function is, or main file is how the C# code is written, which is kind of interesting. Let's see, now we can run the client by hitting start in Visual Studio or Writer, or by running the following command in the client directory. Okay, so let's do .NET run project quick start. But let me clear this first. Where did everyone go? I don't know. They moved on, man. That's how it goes on streams, you know. People come, people go. And that's okay. Everyone can live their life. I'll be excited if this works. Let's see. There's no argument given that corresponds to the required parameter connection of register callbacks. The local function connected to DB is declared but never used. Connect to DB. Oh, that makes sense. What was the other error? All right, I think we're connecting. All right, look, we're online, connected. Hello world. Okay, here we go. Hi. There we go. It's working. So I guess we could do name. Let's see, name. Failed to send message. Value with given unique identifier already exists. Okay. So let's do name. And we'll set my name to Steven. Huh. How does that work? Oh, so you have to type /name. Okay. /name. So let's try to start multiple of these things. So let's do .NET run. And we'll do name and we'll do Steven. Huh. They've got a bug in their code or something. It doesn't quite work the way I think it's supposed to, but interesting. Okay. So I don't know. What do I think at this point? I guess I think it's a little clunky. I think the developer experience is a little clunky. I think the way you define your tables is interesting. I like that you can define your stored procedures in C#. I think that's great. I think it's odd that it's all synchronous code and not async and await code, which is kind of weird. Not a big fan of the event-based programming myself. I know that that's just probably a comfortability thing. I think it makes sense given that the technology was developed primarily to support real-time games. Maybe it does kind of make sense that it sort of has this event-based programming model to it. .NET Run, client. Let's just try to send messages back and forth between tabs. Steven is online. Okay. Let's go. So why can value with given unique identifier already exist? Huh. I'm not sure why it doesn't want to send a message. I wonder if I made a mistake in the code, maybe. Let's see. Let's go back to our lib. Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know why it's doing that. Okay, well, I think that was a good enough exploration for this morning. I guess what are my thoughts? Summary. SpacetimeDB seems interesting. I probably need to spend a lot more time building with it to really get a handle on it. I'm not a big fan of the event-driven nature of it. I'm not sure how you would integrate this into... I'm not sure how you would integrate this into the kind of apps that I typically build. But maybe it makes a lot of sense for things like Unity or Unreal. They have a couple tutorials, it looks like, for Unity and Unreal here. I do wish they had some sort of local UI to be able to visualize the database. TimespanDB local UI. Spacetime does not come with a built-in web-based admin interface out of the box. Instead, you interact with it using a CLI or by building a front end with a client. Yeah, I would like there to be some sort of local admin. It's interesting. Yeah, I think it's interesting. I'm not sold. I still think I had a better experience with Convex. Obviously, Convex doesn't support C#. Yeah, that was interesting. Gel Data has been my favorite. Modern DB comes with a really sexy UI. Gel Data. I've never heard of that either. Man, there's all these different database technologies. Gel Data. Gel supercharges Postgres with a modern data model, graph queries, auth, and AI solutions. Well, it wouldn't be modern if it didn't have AI in it. Postgres unchanged. Postgres is the in-game database. Gel supercharges it with a modern data model, graph queries, auth, and AI solutions, and much more. Interesting. Got a bunch of client libraries. That's great. Although they're using the old .NET logo. They need to update that. That's old. Alright, I'll add this one to the list to check out. Let's see, things to look at on stream. We tried SpaceTime. See, we take one thing off the list and we add another one on. Try using gel data. Its query language is so good it actually feels like a OOP language instead of the rustic SQL. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Yeah. I'm not a big fan of writing SQL by hand. I like MongoDB's query language because it feels like I'm writing JavaScript, which, as I understand it, I basically kind of am. But yeah, I would much rather write SQL using an ORM. Alright, that was a fun way to start the morning. I say now we switched back to physical OS and see if we can't stick some transactions in the database. Gel was my intro to query CodeGen, and I can't go back. Nice, nice. I mean, that's the benefit of checking out these things, right? Is like you get exposed to new ways of doing things. Yeah, so that's why you got to stay curious, you know. Got to stay curious. Don't need that one anymore. Let's turn this one into my toggle focus mode. Let's turn this one into my Azure rename, or not Azure, Aspire. Sorry, not Azure. Turn this one back into NeoVim. Excuse me. Aspire run. Hey Mark, what's up? How are you? It's been a minute. Where you been? What you been doing? Why haven't you been on stream? What the hell? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. It's Friday. We made it to the end of another week. Ugh. Oh man, I miss it. I changed the Twitch. LOL, sorry. I said, where the hell you been, man? Also totally fine to switch to Twitch. I'm happy to see you again. Well, I've been here. It's been you that's been dropping the ball, man. I'm just kidding. Good morning, Komodo Swag Dragon. Good to see you. All right. Let's see if my code still works. Okay, let's open Postman. And we're going to trigger a webhook. Make sure the webhook still works. Log in. Oh, we gotta fire up ngrok. Komodo, got a question for you. Saw your short about fitness and moving. How do you manage with a kid in a full-time office job? I think I made a short about this yesterday or the day before, and I think we've talked about this on stream. I just prioritize, right? So like there are like non-negotiables, right? Like there's non-negotiables is like got to be available for my wife and kids, right? Be a present husband, present father. That's non-negotiable. Uh, Take care of my shit at work so that I can earn money to support us. That's non-negotiable. Take care of my health, right? So get exercise. Try to eat decently well, which I fail at most of the time, but try to move my body every day. Like these are things that like I prioritize. They go at the very top of the list and they come first. And then if there's other time left in the day, then you do other things, right? So like it's just like you'll have this much time and you have a priority and you just allocate time to the based on priority. And then when you run out of time, well, stuff further down the list just doesn't get to, right? So it's I don't try to have like a sophisticated productivity system. It's just priorities and making decisions about where you allocate your time on a daily basis and trying to be intentional about it. So nothing there's no real secret sauce, unfortunately. Komodo, I mean, like, when do you do fitness? What do you do? Oh, so I usually will work out around my lunchtime at work. So sometimes it's a little earlier in the morning, sometimes it's a little later in the afternoon, just depends on what's going on at work and meetings and stuff. But I'll usually work out during my lunch, and usually that involves lifting weights. I have a home gym. I used to own a gym, and so whenever we closed the gym, I took half of the equipment and my business partner took the other half. And so I have a home gym in my garage that I use. And then I also like to go for like long 45-minute ish walks. So I usually lift weights and then go for a long walk each day. I'm not really training for anything specific at this point. I just want to stay mobile, reasonably strong, and hopefully see my grandkids one day. Hello, Eric. Good to see you. Eat whatever the missus cooks. Yeah. My wife and I, neither of us really enjoy cooking, which is unfortunate. So that's an ongoing struggle at our house. Mark, oh, so you do have business? No, I don't have a bit. Not anymore. I used to though. I used to own a gym. I used to own a personal training gym, but no business anymore. I'm just an employee these days. NHS waiting list is a year. Need to go sleep more. Take care. See you, Voltaire. Good to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out with us. Appreciate you. Alright, I'm going to fire a webhook. Looks like that was handled successfully. Now let's look at the traces here. Traces. Okay, so I see. Alright, so something. Something didn't happen correctly. Let's see, queue hosted service. So it did start, or I think it started, but I don't see it actually processing. Oh, there it is. Oh, yeah, because that's going to happen on a separate thing. So we received a transaction, we in-queued the transaction, and then this right here is our request to the Sandbox API. But I really would like this to be... I would really like some logging around that. So let's go to the NeoVim. Let's go to the NeoVim. Have you ever heard anybody say that? Come on, guys, let's go to the NeoVim. Let's see. I'm planning on opening a business soon. If the budget comes, what do you think it is? Business to have. Of course, as a programmer, SE, vibe coder, trad. I don't know, man. Businesses are hard. I would love to have another business one day, but I cannot for the life of me think of what I would actually want to do. I'm hoping at some point, like, motivation strikes me at some point, but yeah, I just, at this point, I don't know. I don't know what I would do. Let's see, let's say, yep, let's do that. Thank you, Copilot. Cool. Now let's turn Copilot off. Alright, let's restart the application and see if we can get that logging to come back. So let's go to our dashboard, resources, let's restart the API. Okay, and then let's send another webhook. Wonderful. Let's take a look at the logs. Huh. So it seems like Aspire, whenever I restart something in Aspire, it doesn't actually like load up a fresh build of the, which is unfortunate. So it means I have to actually stop Aspire. Whoops, I have to actually stop Aspire and restart Aspire. Which seems weird to me.
Linux is so sexy. What do you mean unzip, strip, touch, finger, grep, mount, fski? More, yes, fski, fski, unmount, sleep.
There was a couple in there that got me, man. That was a good one. That was a good one. Wait, where are we right now? We're in Aspire, is where we're at. Man, from time to time, I'm seeing your commit when I open up GitHub. Man, you sure do a lot. I don't know if I do a lot. It might look like I do a lot, but I don't think I actually do a lot. I just tinker a little bit every day, you know? Just tinker a little bit every day. So your business is raising a kid right now? I like that. I like that. It is my primary focus at the moment. The primary focus is being a present husband and engaged father. That is priority numero uno. All right, let's log in again. Let's fire another webhook. Send. The webhook has been handled. Structured logs. There we go. So processing sync updates for item such and such. We should really create, for that processor, we should really create a span that wraps the processing so we can visualize it in OpenTelemetry or in a structured trace. Because right now we're just getting this post, which is kind of confusing. It's like, oh, there's just a random trace post, but really this should be a child of that processor trace. So we'll want to think about that stuff here in a minute. But let's focus on the real purpose of the processor. So what this processor is supposed to be doing is it's handling a webhook. So it's basically saying, hey, there are updates available for this particular institution. And so what this code should do is if we've successfully retrieved the sync transaction response, we should actually process it here. And there's a couple things we need to do. So we need to, number one, we need to iterate through the accounts and update, or I guess, and add a balance entry for each account, right? And then we also need to iterate through the added transactions and store those in the let's see, transactions for each account, and persist those to the database. Those are the two things we need to do. The first one should be pretty straightforward because we already have an accounts object. So we should be able to say, let's say for each var account in sync transaction response dot accounts. And we should be able to say, because each account has a balance on it, right here. So we should be able to get the balance information and translate that. Oh, it also has a last updated date time. That would probably be a good thing to keep in our database. I think we just need current available. Yeah. Okay. And then what does the transaction data look like? So there's two sets of transaction data here. There's var added in sync transaction response dot added. So an add is a transaction, and is there a status? Hopefully there's a status. Pending. Right there, pending. When true, identifies the transaction as pending or unsettled. Pending transaction details may change before they are settled. So I don't want to deal with any pending transactions because I don't want to have to reconcile pending transactions. I only want to deal with transactions that are committed or actually posted. So we'll say if added dot pending. We're just skipping you, buddy. We're just skipping you. It's a shame streaks don't show up in chat, but 35 streams. Oh, nice, very cool. I think they did used to show up. I don't know why they're not showing up anymore. But congratulations on 35. Thank you very much for being so consistent in your viewership, man. I appreciate that. Sweetcar, yo, here, hear me out. I want to share my things. I got no one, so I was thinking of attempting LFX, right? But I just found out my name is in 6th place in the LFX Insights of InMap. So Sweetcar, I don't know what any of that means. But you can always share your things on the internet, right? You can just like post about them, make content about them. That's always good. Kurt, you're welcome. Thank you, sir. All right, let's do So we shouldn't add balances for accounts that aren't in our database. So what we should do is we should actually do this. We should actually say var account, should say plaid account IDs equals sync transaction response dot accounts dot select a dot account ID. And then what we should do is we should say var existing accounts equals await app db context. And we should say accounts oh, I haven't exposed that. Should I expose it? Let's see. I already have the institution, don't I? Yeah. So we could do this. We could say dot include I dot accounts. I don't know. I don't know what the right way to handle that is. Do we want to include the accounts, or do we want to... This also should probably be... I should probably also do that. Where do you put that at? Here? Yeah. Which then means we can do this in memory. We don't have to hit the database again. So we can say, whoops. We should be able to say if I don't know. Is this the right pattern? I don't know. Because then we need to also say dot then include a dot metadata, like that. So we basically are getting the institutions with their user, with their accounts. Each account is going to get its metadata, and we're also going to include the metadata for the institution. There's a lot of joins happening here. Oh my gosh. I don't know if that's good or bad, but there's a lot of joins happening there. So we need to come down here and say, what do we need to say? So we basically need to say var existing account equals institution dot accounts dot where. And the where clause here is basically where a and a dot metadata is plaid account metadata and metadata dot plaid ID equals account dot plaid ID. That's not ugly at all. That's not ugly at all. And if existing account is null, then we continue. Oh, I guess we also need to say first for default. Nice. Okay, so if existing account is null, we continue. Otherwise, we need to say existing account dot balances. No, add balance. There we go. Add balance, and then we'll say balance dot from account dot balances. Like that. Does this have a from method? Current available currency code. So we have to just pass those in individually. The LFX mentorship program run by the Linux Foundation is a structured initiative that helps individuals contribute to open source projects under the guidance of experienced mentors. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, that sounds like a really cool program, man. Never heard of it before, but it sounds like it could be beneficial to you. NG Tontai, you were really stuck on that song, man. Sorry. Oh man, I got something stuck in my throat. All right, sorry about that. That was a little dramatic. Account balances. Shut it, Uncle Pee-wee. Let's see, balances. No, we added a property for this dot currency code. Yeah. Current. Going to balance. Okay. And then we also need to, I kind of hate this though, the fact that we have two lists. We have this list of accounts and we have a list of existing accounts, and we're basically having to like look up one with the other. Really hate that. I don't know if there's a better way to do that, but that's what we're doing. Okay. Now we would like to be able to come through here and tie these transactions to an account. Now, currently, transactions are not modeled anywhere in our database. So we need to figure out what a transaction is going to be modeled after. And I guess we'll just start by looking at the plaid transaction. So let's go to the source code for that library. GitHub. TZ, yo, you stopped using AI? Poggers? So I'm not like not using AI at all, but I'm not really coding with AI. I'm using AI a lot to help me answer questions or to like rubber duck with, but I'm not using Claude Code and 9 terminals of Gemini CLI and Cursor. You know what I mean? I'm not doing any of that stuff. Cool. Yeah. 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 Which is just a personal decision. I mean, everyone's allowed to write code the way they want to write code. I would never stop you from living the life you're desiring to live, you know? Who am I? I'm just a 32-year-old guy in Kansas. Like, don't listen to me. Did you guys see though that Block laid off 4,000 workers? Did you guys see that? Block layoffs, and they blamed it on AI, which I just think is complete bullshit. Did you guys see this? Let me find if the Vergecast had a good write up. Block layoffs, The Verge, not the Vergecast, The Verge. So they did have a 10,000 people org. They laid off 4,000 folks. And where does he say? He says, we believe Block will be significantly more valuable as a smaller, faster, intelligence native company. What? So if you were, I guess if you weren't an intelligence native company before, what were you? Were you like a dumb company? A dumb native I don't know what that means. But yeah, they blamed it on AI. Clanker is useful sometimes when documentation fails you. Yeah, oh yeah, it's super helpful for that. Like I'll use it all the time. Like right now, this is a great use case for it where we could put this repo in its context, and we could say, let's say, model a generic transaction entity in C# based on going.plaid's transaction model. Needs something that could potentially support other providers beyond Plaid. It's great for stuff like that, right? Why are my comments not showing up? Your comments should be showing up. Yeah, your comments should be showing up. You're on Twitch, so it's probably just on the top of your... Oh, you figured it out. Never mind. Yeah, it's on the top. It's just easier for me to read. I don't have to look down at the bottom of my screen. Yeah, but I saw this yesterday, at the end of yesterday. A bunch of people on LinkedIn were posting they got laid off. And I just think this is bullshit. I don't think any amount of AI is going to make up for 4,000 human beings. I think this is just an example of a company that mismanaged the size of their workforce, but they can spin it in a positive way by saying, oh, well, we're getting more efficient and more lean, and we're getting better, and we're going to be more productive because we're leveraging AI in smarter, better ways. I call bullshit. I call bullshit. Okay, this is way more complex than what I need. Way, 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 way more complex. We don't need all this. Let's look at the actual source code. Transaction. Sounds like cope. Sounds like they're coping because they don't know how to hire good coders. Yeah, maybe. I think it more sounds like people still suck at managing their the size of their workforce, and they overhire. That's what I think it sounds like. Satya, hello Satya, good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Kiss, keep it stupid simple. Yeah, we need to keep it simple. Faux show. Let's see, a representation of where a transaction took place. Location data is provided only for transactions at physical location. I don't need that. I think what I want is, so obviously the name of the merchant would be good. Right? The description would be good. I don't care about pending. I'm not going to deal with pending. Account owner. Don't need that. We will store the transaction ID. What is transaction type? Please use the payment channel.
I'd like to say something.
Knock knock.
Who's there? What language is it? Rust? No, this is C#. We're working in C#. It does kind of look like Java, though, doesn't it? Uncle Pee Wee, thank you for the cheer.
100.
Appreciate that. Very kind of you. Let's see. My 2 bits here. Working in finance here. AI is too unreliable at this moment. People need to realize that a single oversight can seriously affect actual lives of people. Satya, I think that's a very, very valid take. Yeah. I think in mission critical systems, people should be very, very careful. Yeah, I agree with that. I almost always regret using libraries. What I do these days is if I need one functionality from a library, I just pull out that part. That's smart. That's super smart. But in this case, we're not just using one functionality. We're talking to an API. And if I spent all my time trying to recreate all the data contracts for the API, I'd waste a lot of time. So I'm just leveraging this existing library. Transaction code. I don't know what that is. How do we tell? I'm wondering how we tell. Oh, here we go. Positive values when money moves out of the account, negative values when money moves in. For example, debit card purchases are positive, credit card payments, direct deposits, and refunds are negative. What? Doesn't the polarity of that seem wrong? Debit card purchases are positive. Huh. That seems wrong to me. I would think if you deposit stuff into your account, that would be I would think if you deposit stuff into your account, that would be a positive number. Let's see.
I'd like to say something.
Stevon is 32 years old. In human years, he is an adult. In programmer years, he is a piece of legacy code written in COBOL that nobody knows how to maintain. If Steven were a website, he would still be using Adobe Flash and have a visitor counter at the bottom. Please, Steven, go take a nap before your back starts making more noise than your keyboard.
Yeah. A legacy website that no one can maintain. Good morning, FPS Highlights. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Let's see. With critical code, automation with LLMs is almost never a good idea because you want to be 100% sure it's correct. But LLMs are basically random number generators. They are probabilistic, that is for sure. Dude, you could get good code or bad code. It all depends on what day you prompt LLL. Yeah, and what day and what you send in. You want to see my project that I recently created? Sure, you can join our Discord and drop it in the projects channel if you want us to take a look at it. Good morning, Cyberlanka. What is Steven working on today? We're still working on the finance app. Yeah, we're still working on the finance app. Let's see. The Plaid's transaction amounts are from the bank's perspective, not yours. Okay. Why this madness? Accounting standard. This matches double entry bookkeeping. I don't care about that. Why it's terrible UX. Getting money should feel positive. Yeah. Yes. I'm gonna flip it. What are income endpoints? I don't even know what those are. Income endpoints? Income endpoints. Plaid? Let's see. Would it verify a user's income via payroll or bank account data? Oh, interesting. Yeah, I don't want to do that. So I won't use these endpoints. Okay, so I'm just gonna flip the polarity in my code is what I'm gonna do. I don't think I need to represent. I don't think I need to have a separate thing to represent inflow and outflow. I'm just going to flip the polarity. So if I receive a negative number from Plaid, that means positive to me, and if I receive a positive number from Plaid, that means negative to me. Because the perspective I care about is not the bank's. I care about my perspective. All right, let's start modeling this entity real quick. So let's go up here. I think we should have a core namespace for transaction. Or transactions. And then let's do transaction.cs. Namespace physical s.core.transactions. EF Core still the best. I like EF Core. Yeah, I like Entity Framework. I do. I still think it's probably the most robust ORM out there for C#. Obviously, I know some people prefer simpler ones like Dapper. I know is pretty popular for those folks who just like to get in there and throw some SQL around. But yeah, I like Entity Framework. Tizu, what are you building exactly? That's what I'm interested in. What I'm building is or what my hope is to build. I'm in the early days of it, but what I hope to build is basically, if you remember like mint.com, or if you've ever heard of like you need a budget. So basically, I just want to build a tool where I can aggregate all my accounts into one place, and then I can see two pieces of information. I can see the balances of those accounts over time, right? And then I can see the transactions of all those accounts in one single pane of glass. That way I can kind of log into one place and kind of get a big picture overview of like today, February 27th, where do I stand financially? Like where is the money? Where's my money at? And how much of it do I have? And then I can also then look at the transaction data to help manage our family spending, right? So we can know like, okay, we spent this much on eating out this month without having to cobble that. Because what I do right now is I have a subscription to You Need a Budget, and that's basically acts as like my aggregator. So that connects to all the bank accounts and credit card credit card accounts and investment accounts. I bring all that data into You Need a Budget, and then I turn around and I export it all out to a CSV, and then I load that up in Google Sheets, and I do a bunch of categorization, and then I take that spreadsheet and I import it into another tool where I do all the like visualization and reporting and stuff. I used to do that all in one place when I used Mint.com, but then when I switched over to You Need a Budget, I ended up in the situation I'm in now, because You Need a Budget is just, it's too complex for me. I don't need all the double entry accounting. I don't need all that. I just need to be able to manage. Did I spend more this month than I took in? That's all I need. So that's what I'm trying to build. Complicated, yeah. It's a pain. It works well. I've got it down to a pretty good system because I built a what are they called in Google Sheets? An app script, I guess. I guess it would be called a macro in Excel. But I can get that CSV out of YNAB. I put it into Google Sheets. I run the app script. It does all the transformations and stuff that it needs to do. Then I download that and import it into this other tool for record keeping and visualization and stuff. So it doesn't take a lot of effort, but it's just painful that there's all these steps. And I'm over here and I know how to code, right? So it's like, well, I know how to write code, I know how to program, I know how to build software. I should just solve this problem for myself. So that's what we're trying to build. TZ, my bank website already does this. Oh, that's cool. Yeah. So do you just bank at one place? Because I don't. I have bank accounts at multiple institutions and investment accounts at different institutions. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, that's not my situation, unfortunately. We are less than 8 weeks away from meeting the twins. Oh, nice, dude. Congratulations. That's super exciting. And also terrifying. I can't imagine what it would be like to bring home. But you've already done the twins thing, so you're a veteran. But yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like to bring home two babies. Like a web app or something showing your earnings and spending. Yeah, basically. Yeah, basically TC. My bank has been good so far. Great. Yeah, that's awesome, man. Yeah. I don't have any issues with my banks. I've been working since I was 15, so I'm 17 years in, and I've moved banks 2 or 3 times. I've changed jobs a few times, like, so I have like old 401ks here. I have our IRAs over here, right? So it's like I just need a way to cobble all of that together. Now, whenever I guess retire, I'll probably do some simplification where I'll just roll everything into one place. I mean, for the most part, most things are concentrated at like 1 or 2 institutions, but like my wife's retirement account's in a separate place and my retirement's in a separate place, right? So it's like, it just makes sense to have a tool like this where no matter where we're banking at, we can connect the account and get our data. And then it's ours, right? Then it's our data and it lives in our database for the future. That's what I do right now, is like I have all the data for the last 5 or 6 years in one place. Oh, is it really 7:15? Damn it, man. I lose track of time every morning. Every morning. Okay. Well, I was really hoping to do the transaction stuff today, but I spent too much time on the SpacetimeDB thing. I pay nothing in fees, literally nothing. That's awesome. Yeah, I don't think I pay any fees. I think I have one credit card that I pay a yearly fee on to have the credit card. Um, but I don't think I pay anything for any of my other like checking, savings, all that stuff. Yeah, I don't pay any fees there, which is nice. Uncle Pee Wee, nothing like a dang incident at 3 a.m. Dude, with twins, having incidents, being on call with twins, that will be nuts. Kurt's 15. What did you work at back then? So my first job was at a Quiznos sandwich shop. Yeah, I don't know how many people here have ever eaten at a Quiznos, but that was my first job, making sandwiches for people. Quiznos. I did that for 2 years. Yeah, about 2 years. It's good. They have good sandwiches. It's good food. They've struggled. I think as a business, they've struggled quite a bit. Like the franchise has struggled quite a bit, but they got good food. It's good stuff. IRS loves you for starting to work so young. Yeah, I'm sure they do. The IRS. I'm procrastinating on my taxes right now because I don't want to see how much I owe this year. I get 10 weeks off. I can't wait. Dude, that's fantastic, man. 10 weeks. I didn't take any time off when my kids were born. I took maybe I don't even remember taking any time off. One of my sons was born like on a Friday, I think. And I was home that Saturday and Sunday, but then I went back to work the next Monday. And my company didn't have paternity time or anything like that for fathers, which I think is crazy. I think it's crazy that companies don't have like I feel like as a society we should mandate any parent, right? Whether you're male or female, any parent, you should get time off to be with your kid. All right, guys. Well, unfortunately, Stephen did not manage his time very effectively this morning, but we did get to explore new technology, which was a lot of fun. So we're gonna have to shut her down and go to work because apparently people want me to pay them rent and money for utilities and buy food. Can you believe that? I can't believe it. So ridiculous. Come to EU, we got that. I think 1 to 2 years. Oh, that's killer. Yeah, I think a lot of European countries are way more progressive on that kind of stuff. I asked for 20 since it was 2. My manager said he would be crying under his desk. Oh man, fuck that. Like in 20 years, you're not even gonna remember that manager. You know what I mean? But you will remember the 20 weeks that you got with your kids. Yeah, I feel like, in my opinion, the perfect world, the perfect policy would be some amount of time. I would say at least 12 months, if not more. And I would like those 12 months to be spread out over. They can basically be used by either parent whenever and however they want, right? So, like, if the mom wants to be home for 6 months, go back to work, or the mom wants to take all the 12 months, or the dad wants to take 3 months, and then the mom 3 months, or like 3 months for the mom, 3 months for the dad, 3 months for the, like, alternate. But like, there should be some way that like you can have one shared pool of paternity time or maternity time, and that the family can decide how to draw on that well of time off to best suit them. I would happily pay more taxes to subsidize that. I would also pay more taxes to subsidize universal health care, but yeah, people don't listen to me on these things. Kurtz, if you had a business, would you allow your employees to take such paternity times? Oh, 100% I would. Hands down. If I was, having been a dad who didn't have it, and understanding how important it is to encourage people to raise families, because literally, if we don't have people that have more kids, and we don't have people who are invested in raising their kids, you don't have employees, you don't have people who start businesses, you don't have people that grow up and become researchers, become scientists, become engineers. Without people who procreate and also are invested in the process of raising up the children, there is not there is not such a thing as society. So that should be something as a society we should all agree, like, hey, for people who want to undertake that, we should support them. We should just not exploit them, because that's what happens today. Is basically society puts all the onus on families to figure it out. Then society turns around and reaps the benefit of people who made the sacrifice. It's not really a sacrifice, but made the decision to have kids and pour their money, time, and energy into those children. Like, everyone benefits from it. But it's sort of this unspoken contract that currently exists, at least in the United States, where it's sort of like, well, it's your job to raise the kids and to figure it all out, but we want them as workers when they're older. We want their taxes. We want their tax revenue. We want them to work for the businesses. We want them to support our infrastructure, to serve in our militaries, to do all these things. But you as the parents have to figure it all out, make it happen. So I would be, if I was a business owner, I would be kicking the fathers out the door. Like, if Uncle Pee Wee worked for me, I'd be like, get the fuck out of here, go hang out with your baby. Nothing we have going on here is going to be more important than you bonding with your child and being an engaged father. So go do the important work. The less important work will be here when you get back. View it as a business owner. You're not greedy. That's good. Yeah, no, I as a business owner, I would just suck it up, man. Like, you just suck it up. Take care of your people. Then your people turn around and take care of you. That's how it works. W boss. I mean, that's what a real leader is. A real leader is somebody who takes care of their folks. You go to battle for them, right? That's what a real leader looks like. And that's what a business owner is, right? Business owners, they're responsible for other people. Not only other people, almost they're responsible for other people and the well-being of those people's families. D-Rod, try B-Top. It looks much nicer. Nah, man, we're a bottom. We're a bottom. Check your text. Oh. Oh, no, I don't mind, honey. I'll reply. Sorry.
Did we just become best friends?
Thanks for the follow, Medical Eagle. Appreciate that. It's very kind. Let's see. By the way, what's your backup plan if coding goes away? I don't know. I've had a couple thoughts about this. I think if coding goes away, maybe try to pivot into something that has to do with finance. Either finance or accounting. I would be okay with working in those fields. I think something like in solution engineering or sales engineering would be interesting, because that's always going to be a field that you're going to need some amount of like human interaction, you know, to kind of paint the clear picture of like the value that something can provide, but you still get to be on the technical side of the house a little bit. Like, you still get to be in the weeds on the technical side, but then also do the people aspect of it. Duckboy, stocks and coffee and chat. Yeah, something like that. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I wouldn't mind doing that. Software tester. Oh, well, I mean, that's what I do already today. I guess I could become an AI evaluator or something, an LLM evaluator. Yeah, I don't know. I think I'll be retired before coding goes away. I'll be retired. I think right now my number, I mean, barring me losing my job or making some really irresponsible financial decisions, I think my number is 52, and I'm 32 now. So I just need another 20 years out of this. Same job, different name. Yeah, exactly. Same job, different name. We're just testing a different kind of software. But yeah, I think I'll be retired before coding goes out of style, or there's no need for people who know how to code, I hope I'll be retired by then. And then it won't be my problem. It'll be all your guys' problem. Or whoever is still left. That's what happens. You go earn your money, and then you don't have to worry about other people's problems anymore. All right, it is time for me to go. I've said lots of opinions this morning. Some of them not good. Some of them okay. None of them, very few of them having to do anything with code. All right, guys. I'm out of here. If you're new here and you want to come back and hang out in the future, you can always find us live on YouTube and Twitch from about 4:15 in the morning till about 7 o'clock in the morning. If you want to interact outside the stream, the best place to find us is Discord. It's just discord.stephenfreeborn.com. I put both the schedule and the link to that stuff in the chat if you're interested. No pressure, obviously. Just like to always make people aware of that stuff at the end of the stream. And yeah, I guess I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday. Have a great end of your week. And I will see you guys tomorrow morning, hopefully. Or maybe like in a short or a video or something. All right, y'all. Bye, Duckboy. Bye, Kurtz. Bye, Cyberlanka. Bye, D-Rar. See you, Uncle Pee-wee. Good luck with the twins if I don't talk to you again. TZ, see ya. See you, Tom Tai. Bye, Oblivion. Bye, Uncle Pee-wee. I already said that, didn't I? I missed a couple people's messages. I'm sorry. Alright, bye, guys. Bye. See you, chat.